Burnley, your friends at Burnley.
Yes.
The ownership apparently have Vincent Kompany in their sights as a new manager. Would this be a brave move, a bold move for both parties here?
A bit of both, I imagine.
Yeah.
It's certainly a left field move, isn't it? I didn't expect to see it. I don't know what it signifies or what it signals. Clearly, to get out of the Championship, there is an element of understanding what the Championship looks like. And, of course, having the financial resources to do it. We really question what state Burnley are going to be in, because I've always maintained that this purchase with a club like Burnley is a very dangerous purchase for them, because they drop out of the Premier League, they're going to have challenges. Boom, first season, lo and behold, bang, they've got relegated.
Yeah.
They will be able to renegotiate this trigger point. People have made a big deal about the £65 million payment that's going to be triggered by the moment they go into the Championship. Now, if they want to, I suspect they can probably go back to Dell, renegotiate that deal and pay some more interest on it and get Burnley to foot the bill for the money they didn't pay in the first place. And now you've got a situation where I believe that they'll fire sell, that they'll sell people like Dwight McNeil and Nick Pope and whoever else to be able to fund it. They may not do. But Vincent Kompany coming in falls into the territory of a discussion I was having with Mark Warburton last week, which he didn't really want to answer, which is, how do you feel about managers that really haven't earned their stripes taking jobs that people like you would like? He answered politically and that it was good for them and so on and so forth.
You actually pressed him quite a bit. I enjoyed the
It was
exchange.
an interesting discussion, wasn't it, with a manager that can answer questions and has the capability to do so. I don't know what this signifies. I don't know how many trees he's pulled up in the Belgian league. It's not the greatest league.
Not many.
Of course, we talk about him finishing 8th in his first season and getting into the playoffs in the next two. It isn't the strongest league, but by God, was he a winner as a player? And his standards were incredibly high. He gives me the feeling that he's a sort of person that could make that leap between player and manager. But you cannot buy experience. You can only gain it. And to go into the Championship, and a division that he has scant awareness of, with the challenges of teams that can't get out of that division, and maybe a club that might not have the finances to help him buy their way out, is an interesting dynamic. It's an interesting left field situation in terms of Burnley looking in that direction. Do I think it's a Hollywood move?
Do you?
I don't know.
It's a bit, isn't it? Surely.
I don't think he's he to me was
a big name.
Was a big name player, but he was the bedrock of Manchester City.
Oh yes.
He was a stable diet of everything that's probably good about Man City in terms of a leader. He wasn't a flash for cash player. He wasn't a front page news player.
No, I agree.
He was a back page player that got you the right results.
But it's a good point you make, Simon. Is this not high profile over sense and experience?
Look, I mean, we haven't interviewed him, and we don't know if they have yet, and we don't know what he interviews like and what credentials he got. I mean, what backroom staff he brings along to make sure that the gap between his management experience and what Burnley require is something that can be bridged. It is a risk, because getting out of the Championship requires either a huge budget from getting relegated from the Premier League or a large degree of know-how. I'm not entirely sure that he's going to fall into either one of those categories of an opportunity, but it is an interesting discussion, because Vincent Kompany, despite me falling into the territory regularly of saying you can't give these guys this kind of opportunity and expect them to be successful without their experience.
I mean, how much know-how do you need, Simon?
Lots.
Do you?
Lots.
In the Championship? Carlos Corberan came from nowhere. Very few people had heard of him. Of course, he was number 2 of Bielsa. But then he piles right into it, Huddersfield, near at Wembley on
They're
Sunday.
not promoted yet. And into the playoffs is a lottery, and yes, of course,
they're one step away.
Of course, but he's managed. Yes, okay, he's been a number 2. He wasn't a number 2 at Huddersfield. He was a number 2 at another football club. So he spent some time cutting his teeth in English football at management level, and that argument could be the exception and not the rule. On the whole, of course, you could turn around and say, well, what experience does Scott Parker have? Scott Parker has no experience really of getting teams out of the Championship, but what he does have is inordinate budgets and a decent amount of support to be able to achieve it. So you either have one or the other.
You know what this slightly makes me think of? The situation in Scotland and when our friend joined Celtic.
Why are we bringing Scottish football into comparison to English?
Well, look at it. Apart from Club Bruges, who pulls up trees in the Belgian First Division? Anderlecht and Club Bruges.
Yeah.
And then you've got the rest.
Yeah.
In Scotland, you've got Rangers, Celtic. Vincent didn't do it, really, with Anderlecht.
No, he didn't.
Now he's going to get a chance in the Championship.
Okay.
The basic bottom line question is he due the chance?
And here's the next analogy that we can contradict both our arguments on. Patrick Vieira did not very much with Nice. Did okay with New York City.
True.
And at the right time in the gestation period of his management career, he's landed at Crystal Palace. So the sum of all his experiences, Pep Guardiola, other managers that he's worked with, and then the management experience at Manchester City in their setup, and then the New York City environment, and then the Nice environment, and now Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Now, the story of Crystal Palace's season has been slightly overblown when you look at what Newcastle have done, because they've actually gone above Crystal Palace in the league and actually finished above them. So success is all relative. But you might find that 3 years into his management experience in Belgium, in his native country where he was always going to go back to, that he now is a sum of all his parts. And it might be a really clever move.
Okay.
I mean, at this moment in time, we were trying to give them a lot of credit for the removement of Sean Dyche, and that didn't work in the end.
You're right. You're right, Simon.
So it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It keeps Burnley in the papers for the right reasons, I suspect.
Great point. Burnley fans, what do you think? Because in all of this, you're the most important people of the lot. Do you want Kompany, Vincent Kompany, at your football club? Is he the man to get you back up to the Premier League at the first time of asking? Why not give us a call on that? 03717 223344 81089. A lot of people not happy that the perception being that myself and Luke ganged up on you regarding the
failed miserably.
The Conte quotes. And there's a very, very complimentary message coming my way this morning. Simon, give up on that stoosh. That must be me. Why don't you get your own show? You don't need that muppet. That must be me. Just gone 10:15.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.